is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels Podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
So I'm the only one that's played new stuff this week. I'll start with Children of Morta. Micah talked about it several months ago. I don't remember it at all. Terrence talked about it last week and made it sound very exciting. So I checked it out. I downloaded it. It is really good. Terrence is correct. I don't really have a whole lot to say past his thoughts on it last week. The gameplay is really fun. It's got a really cool loop. The story beats, like slight as they are, kind of you get story in between and somewhat during the different runs that you make, are good. Like I actually find myself caring about this family more than you would assume that you would in this like dungeon diving game. It's got all the trappings of a great roguelike game with the different power-ups that you can get on your unique runs, and kind of that feeling when you get like the exact power-ups that you need to kind of make it happen and kind of everything clicking together, or you know, when you're down to like 20 health and you just happen to run across, you know, the full heal obelisk so that you can keep the run going when you're pretty sure that you're about to die.
Yeah.
And all that stuff is there. It's very fun. I'm almost through the first set of dungeons. Like I'm in the third area in the first, you know, grouping of dungeons. I've got 5 of the characters unlocked so far. They give you the characters a good clip. They encourage you to use all of them because if you use a character too much, they'll start getting fatigued, which will cap their maximum health each run. So you got to mix it up. All the characters seem pretty good. I mean, for the most part, I don't see anyone that really stands out as being awful.
No.
They're all pretty well balanced, and they're all able to kind of hang in there in their own ways. You weren't kidding about fucking Kevin though. Kevin's a goddamn monster. Like when he was just murking people all over the place. That was a lot of fun.
He just gets better. Him and I keep forgetting which one is which. Kevin is the martial artist.
No, Kevin's the assassin.
Or is he the assassin? Okay, so Mark is the martial. Okay, yeah, I keep getting those two mixed up.
Yeah, Slice. If you like offense, those are the two guys to.
Yeah.
But yeah, Children of Morta is great. I'm gonna play a lot more of that as we go along. The other one that I downloaded a couple weeks ago, but I finally had time to sit down and get into it, is Moonlighter. Weirdly enough, from the same publisher as Children of Morta, not the same developer, but the same folks published it.
Is this older?
It is older. It came out before Children of Morta did.
Yeah.
This came out back in, I think, 2018. So this one kind of flew under the radar for me. But it's interesting. So it's a dungeon crawl game. It's got like a dungeon delving kind of experience to it. The hook of the game is you play a guy that owns a shop in this rundown town, and you're trying to rebuild the shop and sell different items and weapons and stuff like that to the adventurers that explore the dungeons nearby. But where do the merchants in RPGs get their wares from? Well, they have to dive into the dungeons themselves as well to get them throughout the day. So basically, the game switches between you making these runs into the different dungeons that they have. Each dungeon has like 3 floors, each floor having like a mini boss, and then the third floor has like a big boss to fight at the very end if you can make it that far. There's a bit of a risk reward system to the game because early in the game you get this pendant. So as you go through the dungeon, you're killing stuff. You're going to get different crafting materials. You're going to get different items, that kind of stuff. But you have a backpack that has limited space, and you can only hold 20 different items. The items can like stack on top of each other if they're the same kind of thing. But you have like 20 slots in your backpack. If you make it out of the dungeon, so if you complete the dungeon, or if you warp out of the dungeon, which costs money, you get to keep everything. But if you die in the dungeon, you only get to keep the first, like the best 5 items that you keep on your person, and everything in your backpack goes away. So like when you're low on health, like you always run this like kind of pushing yourself, like, oh, do I want to do one more room? Do I want to do, go to this next area to try to clear this out, to try to do the risk reward thing, which is pretty cool. The combat is kind of Legend of Zelda-esque. It's that same kind of like Zelda 1 aesthetic, but there's all sorts of different weapons in the game. You can unlock different abilities, that kind of thing. So they do a good job mixing that up. and then when you're done delving in dungeons, you actually have to set up your shop and sell items. So like you have a handbook that kind of lets you know where items should be priced at in gold, but you have to set prices for yourself, and you like literally set them on a table. And during the day, you open your shop, and people come in and they look around your shop and they pick up stuff they want to buy, and you sell it to them. But when you're trying to when you've never sold an item before, you're just kind of spitballing at the price. So like you'll put something out for like some crazy price, right? And then the customers kind of like give you emoji reactions like when they go check out an item. So like what you're trying to do is find a price that they like that's still high. But some people will like they'll go and they'll like do a huge frowny face being like, you priced it way too high, you're not gonna be able to sell it. The worst for you is when someone like lights up with like the $sign face, like I got a great fucking deal on this one. Shit. Like I priced it way too low. And so, but you can adjust prices like on the fly, like the shop management's a real time kind of thing where like people are coming in and out, and once items get sold, you can put new items out and things like the other. There's shoplifters that come in that you have to watch out for. So like if someone tries to steal shit and run out of your shop, you can like go tackle them to get the item back and that kind of stuff. There's no story to the game. Like the whole story is there's 5 dungeons that are in town, and the 5th one is like this grand dungeon that no one's ever been in, and your guy's really curious and wants to check it out, but you have to beat the other 4 dungeons first. That's the extent of the story. Like that's it. and the whole gameplay loop is going in, getting items, figuring out what you want to sell, figuring out what you want to keep so that you can craft new weapons and things like that to make yourself more powerful. Plus you can sell the weapons later if you want to as well. So like you can sell your old equipment and things like that to new adventures. Again, no story, but the gameplay loop is oddly addicting. Like it's been a lot of fun. I find myself playing it a ton. There's this item you get later on in the first dungeon that lets you warp out of a dungeon, and then you can go back in at the place that you left, so that if you're trying to you can empty your backpack out and then kind of pick up where you left off, because having to go through all 3 floors every time when you're just trying to get to the boss is kind of a pain in the ass. My Moonlighter is really fun. Like I said, if that sounds interesting, if you like that Zelda gameplay, and that gameplay loop sounds fun to you, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I picked it up for $10 on the Switch. I don't think it's that cheap now, because I got it on a sale, but I'm sure it goes on sale pretty frequently. Definitely worth looking into if you're looking for something new to play. Good news. Well, so I don't know if this is good news, because there's a lot of stuff on the new release list this week. The vast majority of it, though, is like re-releases and remasters of other games. Call of Duty World War II is free on PlayStation Plus. We don't yet know if this is going to be one of the June PlayStation Plus games or if this is just like a bonus game that everyone's getting for free, but you can download that now if you want to. Microsoft did announce games with gold for June. I hate how Polygon always lays this crap out. So anyway, you get Shantae and the Pirate's Curse from June 1st through 30th on Xbox One. And then from the 16th through the 15th of July, you can get a game called Coffee Talk, which is a barista simulator, basically. So if you ever wanted to talk to coffee shop patrons.
There are some jobs that, we don't have to simulate through the magic of video games. Like no one is fantasizing about being a barista, are they?
I think this is a little bit more stylized than your typical blank simulator game.
Well, yeah, this one woman is extremely pale to the point of being purple. And this other guy looks like he's been in a massive fight, or he's been picking a lot of scabs.
Or he has leprosy. One of the
yeah. Yeah.
So those are your Xbox One games, and then for the 360 games that are also playable on Xbox One, Destroy All Humans is free for the first half of the month, and then Cinemora is free in the back half of the month. So you have that to look forward to if you have an Xbox. As far as new games this week, Utaware Rumano, Prelude to the Fallen, comes out on PS4 and Switch.
I have no idea what this is.
They're fighting games, if I'm not mistaken, aren't they?
I have no idea what this is.
Okay. What is
there's like a ton of these Utaware Rumano games that have come out. for the PS4. The only reason I'm aware of the series is because whenever I see that title, I always in my head I just say Zuata Janejo all the time because that's what me. Minecraft Dungeons, hotly anticipated, comes to PC, Xbox One, PS4, Switch, probably your phone, whatever else you can think of. So if you want Baby Diablo, then definitely check out Minecraft Dungeons. And then a bunch of remasters. So Wonderful 101 came out on Switch and I believe PS4. And then on Switch, 2K just decided to unload their entire remaster collection. So you get Borderlands Legendary Collection, the Bioshock Collection, XCOM 2 Collection, and then the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition also came out on Switch, or is coming out on Switch this week.
Like, are people hurting for money right now?
Well, these were all planned. It's not like they just dropped them on everybody.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, have they been hurting for money, and we just or are we just out of ideas, or is everyone focused on the next gen? Like, are they saving their real ideas for the next games that are coming out since we're at the end of this generation? Because, how many times are you gonna play Borderlands, yo? Like, how many fucking times are you going to play Borderlands?
Remember that they came out with Borderlands 2 on the PlayStation Vita because everyone said, oh, man, I would love Borderlands, but I wish I could take it on the go with me. So I guess they're just applying that same principle 7 years later to the Nintendo Switch. XCOM is probably great on there. XCOM's probably very enjoyable. That's not a game that leans heavily on its graphical fidelity and the style of game that it is.
Yeah.
Probably lends well.
Like, is Borderlands at least giving you every single piece of content minus Borderlands 3?
Yes, I do believe so.
All right, because goddamn, and I mean, look, that first Borderlands game is fun, but it's fucking. We're gonna talk about endings in video games. I mean, this is it, and BioShock. I mean, if you have a Switch, you probably have an Xbox or a PlayStation, right? And like, BioShock is not a game that I'm like, man, I can't wait to play this morose ass game on the bus. Like, it's not a game that I feel like people would get. That game requires mood and atmosphere. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Next stop, the Gallery Place, Chinatown. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm old.
It probably cost them $5 to port that shit over on them. so whatever they're making off of this thing is probably pure profit.
It doesn't feel like a game fit for like travel. Like portability.
Anything that's a first person shooter on the Switch, you probably want to avoid anyway, because it's not the best.
That seems.
It's not the best dual stick.
About right.
Yeah, not the best dual stick console when you're trying to aim. Range of motion is limited on let's say. So that's your new releases for the week.
Go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. When you go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe, you get to see our beautiful faces, and you get to see Terrence's background of the week. Terrence, what is this?
That is Ghost of Tsushima in the back.
Oh, okay.
Can't really see him.
Are you all in for Ghost of Tsushima?
I am actually. Yeah. After that gameplay demo 2 weeks ago. Yep.
Well,
I am. I'm unfamiliar with this game. That you
Is that July?
It is July. What it looks like Terrence has behind him is the new screen, the poster for Horizon Rising Sun.
What is it? Oh.
I thought that was Assassin's Creed Rogue for a minute. I'm like, what the fuck? What a weird background to have that you can see.
That game really does look like Assassin's Creed Ronin. Like that, like Ghost of Tsushima legit looks like the samurai game that everyone's wanted.
Yeah, it does.
You missed your opportunity, Ubisoft. But yeah, you could take a look at that beautiful background when you go to youtube.com/duncepixels and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. whatever people say. You can subscribe to all of the TMP Studios podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, including the flagship show, The Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema. We just did Girls Trip with special guests Rod and Karen from the Black Guy Who Tips podcast, wildly popular podcast. You probably already know about it. They were on our show, and we had a really good time.
It was a great episode.
Yeah, it's a really, really good episode. You could subscribe to Coming Distractions. One day, maybe, we will be watching and reviewing new movies again. And you get the weekly preview episode of Look Forward, the political podcast. And if that's not enough, for $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to the premium slate of shows, including the airing of Grievances. I think he has one in the can, but he's not trying to dump everything out at the same time. So there's one coming. No Time to Bleed. Look, we just did a new episode. We're not going to tell you what it is, but it was a great episode of No Time to Bleed. There are some revelations in that episode.
Oh man,
that the three of us found out about on the air live. So yeah, you do not want to miss that. The Men with the Golden Tongues.
I still can't believe that shit. Look at that shit is wild.
I can't wait for that episode of No Time to Bleed to come out. It's coming out in June. The June episode of No Time to Bleed is one that everyone will want to listen to. Speaking of shows that everyone wants to listen to, the Men with the Golden Tongues. They've got golden tongue in the name. And who doesn't want to listen to that, right? It's our spy movie podcast that comes out every month. Upstage Conversations carries a podcast on movies and musicals and movie musicals and music in movies because Carrie is a music person and she enjoys movies and ranting and raving on certain musicals. And you get the full episode of the Look Forward Political podcast. I listened to this week's episode, stellar episode as per usual. If you want to hear one of the hosts call the president retarded, tune in. If you want to hear another one of the hosts read off headlines from the New York Post that are nothing but double entendres involving wieners, tune in. That show has a lot of things going for it, and it's something I look forward to every week as a person who is really fed up with politics right now. So, yeah. DensePixels.com/premium.
I don't know who has longer ad reads between you and Conrad Thompson. It's neck and neck. It's a neck race. At least we try to make it as entertaining as possible.
There you go. It's going to be long, but you're going to want to listen to it.
Plus, you only have to deal with like 2 in our podcast. On any of his, you have to deal with like 15 over the 2-hour pod.
And they're actually live. They're actually live reads. They're not like Chris Jericho talking about something and then all of a sudden, yeah, that was really great interview. That was really great. That was a really great point you just made, guest. But I'm here to talk about me undies or whatever, right? Like they're live.
Oh my goodness. So another week, another COVID event cancellation. BlizzCon 2020 officially canceled. Blizzard says that a replacement event may come early next year. We don't know what that looks like or what it's going to be. But yeah, again, this should not be a surprise to anybody if you've been following the news. Disappointing, I'm sure, because I'm sure we were going to see a lot more of Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 this year, but maybe they can still roll out something. But yeah, like I said, another event canceled thanks to the coronavirus situation.
Yeah, just stream it on YouTube.
They probably
Everybody's fucking home.
right.
Like, goddamn.
What's going on? We haven't talked about Valorant, which is the newest game coming out from Riot Games. Their free-to-play tactical shooter. It's been in closed beta for the last month, and apparently it's only going to be in closed beta for about a month because on June 2nd, the game is going to be released. Whatever that means, it's a free-to-play game, so it's not like it's going to not be constantly evolving all the time. Apparently, the beta will end on the 28th of May. The game will go down for 5 days to give them a chance to get the servers ready and then roll it out. But again, it's a free-to-play game. Like, it's going to be a beta in and of itself, kind of.
Right.
You know,
weren't they getting influencers?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Paying them to play this game to kind of.
Well, I mean that's what every company does with influencers.
Oh.
That's nothing new. I mean, people are going to be excited just because it's the first like game that's not League of Legends.
Like I've seen gameplay of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Looks like all right. I mean, it doesn't look very fun. It looks like Counter-Strike.
I mean, that's what they're
mixed in with Overwatch because each character has like specials and shit. So it's Overwatch Counter-Strike essentially. It looks like Counter-Strike, as in like graphically, it's ugly. Like it's just not very.
I know, all words are made up.
Yeah, what the fuck does Valorant mean?
Yeah, thank you. what is Valorant? Like, I don't know. I just would like, all words are made up. Thanks, Thor. But I really would like for people to title things like, that have some sort of meaning as to what they mean, right? And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, you're on a show called The Nerdpocalypse. That's stupid. That's a made up word.
It's a portmanteau.
Exactly. It's a portmanteau of nerdiness and apocalypticness, right? Like we're throwing a nerd bomb at your ass every week for your amusement, right? And what is Valorant a portmanteau of? Valor and ant? I don't know. I'm in a mood.
It's Valor and rant, like you do very noble, angry dialogues at your
That's why they're killing each other.
Yeah. So, I don't think I know anyone personally that has played this, or at least if I do, they haven't really talked about it. So
it's PC exclusive, right?
Yeah, of course. Right now,
if I'm not mistaken.
I'm looking at alpha footage, and I know, you shouldn't base anything on alpha footage, but yeah, it looks ugly.
Like, I watched on Twitch. I'm like, because everybody was talking about Valorant, so I decided to watch a stream of it. I'm like, is this just like a Counter-Strike mod?
Yeah, no. It's one of those things that, like, on Twitch, if everyone's talking about it, you can be sure that there's some money changing hands, and then find out if the same people are still talking about it a week later.
Yeah, once the game actually comes out.
Borderlands 3 has announced their latest expansion. It's called Bounty of Blood. It comes out on the 25th of June. It's got an Old West setting. You have apparently like speeder bike motorcycles that you can ride around in, which is cool, I guess. And then they also, for the first time in Borderlands 3, I think they have this is the first time they've done a level boost to get you up to the new content. Am I not mistaken with that? Did you have to grind to 50 for the first two expansions?
Didn't they let you for that DLC before Borderlands 3 came out? Didn't they let you boost up to whatever the fuck?
Yeah, that was Borderlands 2. That was Borderlands 2 DLC.
No, that's what I'm saying. They allowed you to just kind of, if you never had Borderlands before, then they let you boost up to.
Yes, but I'm saying this is the first time that they've done this in Borderlands 3.
Oh, yeah, this is like the first DLC for Borderlands 3, right?
This is the third one.
Oh, I've never played wildest. I don't know.
I started playing Moxie's. I forgot I bought the season pass, so I started playing the Moxie thing, and I'm like, yeah, this is more Borderlands. Like I don't. I have to be in a mood to play Borderlands now, but that'll be nice to just kind of get a boost because like it's a grind in them later levels, and it got to the point where I was just playing the same horde mode, round based horde mode, just to get 2 characters up to 50, and I was like, all right, I'm done. So I might hop back into it. I might skip Moxie's thing. It's all about like robbing Handsome Jack's casino or some such nonsense.
I thought they went out of the way to kind of like Ocean's theme that. I figured it'd be right up your alley as far as the story.
There's something about it that I mean, look, I haven't gotten that far into it, but the way I play those games, if there's a side quest, I have to do it before like the main mission, and the side quests are still the same, the same stuff. So I might try the second one, which is all about Sir Hammerlock getting married to his boyfriend. But and I'll try this one. I'm not a huge Western person, but I'll try it. I like a cowboy hat.
I think this has a new planet as well that's associated with it, a new destination.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool.
Westworld.
I don't know what they're calling it, but no, it's Westworld. But they'll be surprised to see a bunch of Westworld references strewn throughout, I'm sure.
Yeah,
as they will not be able to help themselves. So in this week's You Can't Ignore Politics If You Play Video Games, Last of Us 2 reportedly is going to be banned in Saudi Arabia and the UAE.
Apparently, they saw the leaks too.
Yeah, well, this article does not go into why.
Yeah, I'm reading it. I'm like, why did they ban it?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you know anything about the governmental policies of those two nations in particular, you will know exactly why if you've been up to date with the Last of Us 2 leaks, which we cannot. We're not going to talk about because that wouldn't be very nice. But let's just say that there are characters in Last of Us 2 that are very much a part of the LGBTQ community, and that does not jive in those two countries, especially. So this probably shouldn't be a surprise. So
yeah, damn it, that's one thing. That's the one thing that I regret about this leak. I wasn't playing this game, but I do regret that someone leaked it, and I regret that they leaked it, and these two countries found out about it, what's in it, and now they can't play it. Like I wanted to see the uproar that would have happened in those countries.
I think they would have found out anyway, just because I would assume they have. I don't know whose rating systems they subscribe to, but they do exist, and I would think that those would be things that would be mentioned in there. I also don't see why anyone that lives in these areas would not be able to import like an ESRB or PAL game and just play it on their if they wanted to as well. Sucks they have to go, that roundabout method. But again, if you follow the leaks, and if you know these two countries, you probably shouldn't be surprised. But it just sucks that it's censorship, essentially. It's censorship of art because you don't agree with some of the characters in the game.
Yeah, so much for that. So much for that. Like re-envision of Saudi Arabia that the WWE had their fucking golden boy John Cena out there giving them the big push. Like I'm honored to be here in this vibrant and progressive city. He used the word progressive a lot. Like,
yeah, well, I'm sure that
they let women drive now.
Yeah, I'm sure the check had already cleared at that point. So he's just doing the dance to get there. The final bit of quick news: we don't really talk about minor updates, especially for games we don't play and games that have been out for a while. But I figured I would just I would put this in there for Terrence's sake, if anyone else's. Pyramid Head is coming as one of the new like villain characters in Dead by Daylight in the 4v1 survival horror game.
Yeah, I literally just saw this. I saw the trailer right before I jumped online and then looked at the docket. So they have Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2. They have the protagonist from Silent Hill 3, and they have the school from the original Silent Hill. So they kind of took things from the 3 best games, if you will, and mashed them together. I've never played that. I think I have played it. I played it a couple times. But they're constantly putting like new villains in. And this is cool.
Yeah, like
but I don't know. Is it free?
Yeah, I think so. I think all of their updates are free.
Do I have Dead by Daylight?
It was free once.
Yeah, I'm still trying to remember if I downloaded it. If I can't remember, but this is cool. Konami's still garbage, but
I would say this goes to show you that Konami is still capable of doing cool things.
But like all they did was just like, here, you can take these assets and throw them in this game. I'm busy working for pachinko machines.
How much you want for this Pyramid Head?
Right.
Well, in exchange, maybe we'll see a Dead by Daylight pachinko machine in Japan somewhere.
Yeah, what is going on with Konami? Like, are they just done with video games?
They stopped caring. They stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, so they're just completely done.
Yeah.
So are they going to give their properties to something else because they're not making? Well, they're making money off of them with the pachinko machines.
It's a damn shame too, because I have been
because they have really good properties.
I've been on a YouTube rabbit hole for a couple SNES channels the last couple weeks, and it just goes to remind you that Konami did a whole bunch of cool shit back in the day.
Yeah, when you saw the Konami logo, you was like, you knew this was going to be a quality game,
or even an Ultra Games logo for that matter. Which was
Ultra?
Konami, they were Ultra Games. Remember that was back.
They did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They did. That was back in the day when Nintendo only allowed publishers to publish like 5 games per year on the console. So you had publishers making these alt labels just so they could get more games out.
God damn.
On the systems.
It's a shame. Man. Like they should just give up some of their properties because they're not doing nothing with them.
They really should. There's a lot of stuff that they.
Imagine if they just gave Silent Hill to Capcom. And all of a sudden, fucking
give him Castlevania.
Yeah, man. Like come on,
what was that? What was the last one?
Lords of
the
Shadow.
One that did Mercury Steam did Lords of Shadow. Give that to fucking Capcom. Should be the dopest fucking Devil May Cry ripoff. Come on, man. That's a shame.
Okay, let Dante just roll up into Castlevania. Heard a lot about this place.
Heard about a lot of Dracula, man. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, name's Dante. I don't know who you are.
Flock off, Featherface. Woo!
Oh man, that would be dope. But they're not gonna.
You're getting people jazzed up for the DMC Castlevania crossover.
Hey man, do it! Fucking DMC X Castlevania and Resident Evil X Silent Hill. Have the characters that people love. Like have it could be like the new Nightmare or whatever, right? Like you have Leon. Everybody loves Leon over there, drop kicking Tyrannosaurus Rexes and shit. Have him come and fight Pyramid Head. Like, I mean, this shit is just printing fucking money, dude.
I would buy that. Throw Leon in Silent Hill, drop kick
man.
And suplex everything. It's fine.
Have him come across Pyramid Head. He tried that roundhouse bullshit and just kicked the pyramid and like, nah, this ain't no traffic cone, bitch. Yo, I'm telling you, it could be the new Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil Cross Silent Hill. That could be the new Resident Evil 4. So
yeah, Capcom could do a fucking Silent Hill game. They really could.
Yeah.
Like they nailed 7 and that remake and 2, the remake for 2. Oh man. What could be?
What could be? No easy transition here. Go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon. When you do go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon and make all of your Amazon purchases, you will be helping us out at no additional cost to you. Let's go to www.densepixels.com and type in Pyramid Head. For a mere $127.93, you can get a Resident Evil 2 Red Pyramid. That's the name in Japan. They don't call him Pyramid Head in Japan. They call him the Red Pyramid. You get a Red Pyramid action figure for only $130. As a person that has started to collect action figures, that's a lot. Good Smile Silent Hill 2 Bubblehead. They call them Bubbleheads, the nurses. Bubblehead nurse is $88 as a person who has started collecting action figures. That's a lot. You know, these designs for these creatures are they're weird, right? Like they give you like a weird like horror boner, right? Because like Pyramid is just this jacked ass dude with huge arms, but he's got a red pyramid on his head and something growing out of it, right? So it's like, ooh, this is kind of weird, but like he's got these jacked arms, right? And this bubblehead nurse, you know, if
remember
you
the first time you saw a Pyramid Head in Silent Hill 2?
Yeah.
When you were sitting in the fucking closet and he's like,
Jesus Christ,
raping like dolls or whatever. That shit was weird.
This series
bizarre game.
This series has always been like just weird.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's not like zombies, right? Like zombies, ain't nobody scared of no fucking zombie. I'm weirdly afraid and turned on by this bubblehead nurse. Right? She's wearing a short ass skirt. She's got cleavage down to her fucking sternum, right? But she's carrying a machete, a serrated blade, for God's sakes. And look at her face. What the fuck is that? I don't know, man.
Bandaged up. Wait, what is happening here?
But anyway, you can go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon and get yourself one of these weird murder boner figures.
This is Area Agreements content live on. Congratulations, everyone. In our top story of the week, this is only on here. Terrence brought this up literally.
Yeah, right before we started recording.
Because Micah and I had not really heard of this. But it's wild to me. So there's this game called the Culling, and apparently the Culling was like the OG battle royale game, but it never really got off the ground. So like the game came out, didn't do well, servers got taken offline. They released the Culling 2, didn't do well, servers got taken offline. Of course, since then,
the servers got taken offline 2 weeks after they released the Culling 2. Yeah. Literally.
And ever since then,
then they re-released the Culling 1, and then they took the servers offline. This all happened within like a year and a half of each other.
Meanwhile, PUBG and Fortnite and
they just took over.
Is taking over the world. So the Culling is back. I guess they are trying to ride the battle royale train. Everyone's into it now. It's like, the OG will come back. This will be great. But they have arguably the weirdest pricing structure ever seen in a video game. So the good news is, if you were one of the early adopters and you bought the original Culling, you own the new Culling. So congratulations, I guess. If you don't own the Culling, well, it's only going to cost you $5.99. I know you're saying, well, that's weird. Most battle royale games are free to play. You're right, but it's $6. Who cares? Well, that's where our journey starts, friends. So the way the Culling works, once you've paid your $5.99 and now you own the game, quote unquote, you are entitled to play one free match of the Culling per day. That's what you get a token for. You get a token to play one free match of the Culling per 24-hour period. If you win your match, then you'll get tokens. So I guess they're going with the old arcade mentality. Put your quarters on the table. If you winner gets to stay on, I guess. So you get tokens if you win. But it's a battle royale game. You're not going to win all the time. Probably very rarely will you win. Instead, you can buy more tokens if you want to be able to play more than one time per day. And then if you really want to get froggy, you can buy unlimited access for $5.99 a month.
Here's the full scheme. It's $5.99 to buy the game. You get the one free match per day. If you win, you get another token for free. To get, what is it, 3 matches?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 99 cents, right? To get 20 is $2, I think. Wait, I just had it in front of me. To get, it's 3 for $1. It's 10 for $3 or 20 for $5. That's the token scheme. Alternatively, you can get unlimited play option for 7 days for $2. So $2, unlimited play for a week.
So it's literally buy 3 weeks, get one free. To join the subscription plan.
This is so stupid. Or you can get unlimited play for $6 a month. As much as you want, as many tokens as you want, for $6 a month. Now, this is all because it costs money to keep the servers running.
It sure does.
And things like that. And also, they're taking out loot boxes instead. They're making you pay to play.
Well, at least like I was talking about titles of video games earlier, and at least this one is 100% apt, as it is culling the money from your fucking wallets. This is fucking no, dude. No, this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't,
especially when how many forget how many battle royale games there are. How many popular battle royale games are there that are free to play?
Like really popular? Yeah, you have right now, Call of Duty Warzone is free.
Right.
You don't need Call of Duty to play it.
Fortnite is free. Apex Legends free.
Yeah, they all have like loot boxes, and you can pay $20 for skins and
right, which people bemoan. So there you go. So all the folks out there that bitch and moan and cry and complain, the anti loot box crowd, go play the Culling. This is what you want. This is the future that you desire.
First of all,
is to get nickeled and dimed like it's a fucking mobile.
I played the Culling on Xbox One. Game is terrible. It's not good. That's why it keeps getting shut down, because it's not good. Like, yo, you just got to take that L, my nigga. Like, it's not a good game. Like, go back to the drawing board, come up with something else, and then just like go on about your business. But this is not going to work. First of all, it's not worth it. And then this pay scheme is bananas. This just don't make sense.
Like, this is worse than a mobile game, right? Because at least with like a mobile game, like they have in-game currency that you can earn very slowly, but you can earn in-game currency in most mobile games and then use that in-game currency to continue playing for a bit until you either run out or you need to, or your energy or whatever needs to recharge
for the day.
Right.
I mean, so does this one. Again, like
this one,
you
get one free match a day, but if you win, you fine, bro.
But that's
I don't know what the problem is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't even have like an in-game currency that you can earn or purchase to keep playing. You just have to purchase it, right? Like, they just cut the middleman out, which, I mean, I guess is, I don't know. This is, and it looks ugly. Like, it looks butt ugly. And I'm not just talking about the graphics, show. Like,
it's not a very good game, just period. It's not good. So for him to even come up with this scheme, and he came out with a video and everything. I don't know what the fuck he thought was gonna happen.
Did you say his big regret was how it was announced?
Yeah, he's like, I regret how. We're like, no, we keeping it, my nigga. But like, I just regret how we did it. We should have
make no
out
mistake.
A little different.
Make no mistake. This is the plan. I just, I should have eased it in a little more. Should have gave you a little foreplay first.
It's gonna get closed down again if it hasn't already done so.
I don't see how this is sustainable especially in the current environment.
Yo, there are so many other options that you don't have to pay for.
Because you have to pay just to even try it out. Like you have to pay the $6 just to even get in the door.
It's $6 if you don't own it, and then you play it once, and that one time is not. Yo, you play. Look, y'all niggas go ahead and pay $6 for this shit and play it once. You can be like, delete, because no one's gonna want to play this ugly ass game. And then you can be like, okay, I'm gonna go back to Call of Duty or Fortnite. Everyone hates Fortnite, but you're gonna go right back to Fortnite or Apex Legends. Like, no,
they'll come out with the debut edition that you can download for free and have one play forever until you pay the $6 gate fee.
It's like you get that one free match, you go run around, and you get taken out in a minute and a half. You're like, well, that didn't really do anything for me. Why the fuck would I continue playing this? Oh, you play $1 just to get 3 more matches, or $3 for 10 matches, or $2 for 7 days access. What? How does it like? It's $3 for 10 free matches, or $2 for 7-day access.
Wait, what?
Yes,
they want you to pay because they want you to ultimately pay the $6. That like the reason it's priced that way.
No, I know why it's priced that way, but that's the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
3-pack, $1, 10-pack, $3, 20-pack, $5, unlimited, 7-day, $2, 30-day, $6.
It's
wow,
so stupid.
I wanna meet the guy that's buying the 3-packs constantly. He's like, you know what? No, I'm only gonna want to play exactly 3 matches of the golf. So you will have $1 fine. Thank you very much. That's all I'm willing to.
After you already paid $6,
right?
There's $7. Let me get my 4 games, unless I win.
And here's the thing: like they could get away with this if their game was good. The biggest problem they have is apparently the game sucks.
Yeah, it's not good at all. It just isn't. It's janky as fuck. Like the graphics are ugly. It's more of like a close quarters combat battle royale. Mm-hmm. Like you have like bats and shit like that, and that doesn't really translate that well.
Yeah, they hype it up as like the true Hunger Games, basically.
Yeah, that don't translate when it's fucking butt ugly and not fun to play.
I worry that game has like Skyrim combat, basically. Like it's like that level of hit detection and animation and that kind of thing. So
this is ugly looking dude.
Yeah. This is a mess. I don't see this thing being up for more than a month.
Yeah, we'll see. And
before they're like, well, that experiment fucking failed.
I mean, the only reason we even know about it is because of the jacked up fucking price structure that they have behind the games. That right. Doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well. Cool.
Wow.
All right. Well, we go to the post office. We ask you to give us your questions. We answer them on the show. Malcolm's out of jail. He says, guess who's back? Appreciate the big homie, the Prince of Persia, Johnny Belfield, for helping me out. That shit made me laugh when I first read it. I'm telling you. He asked, how about that Stadium Stampede match? Mike, are you still paying for AEW pay-per-views?
What happened?
AEW had a pay-per-view this weekend. I'm asking.
They most certainly did.
If he's still giving money to AEW to watch their pay-per-view.
Oh, I saw the advertisement on my PlayStation.
I don't ever recall paying for an AEW. No. I went over my friend Jack Torrance's house. And he didn't have it ready yet, but he said that I can watch the replay. So I'll watch the replay.
Gotcha. I heard this. I heard the Stampede match was fun. Basically, Terrence, there was a 5-on-5 tag team match between Chris Jericho's crew and the Elite inside the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium, where falls counted anywhere. And they just did a bunch of batshit crazy stuff, including Hangman Page chasing Sammy Guevara across the football field on a horse. Like he was literally on horseback.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, they
Oh my god,
this fucking wild. Like Matt Jackson or one of the fucking young bucks was using the goalpost to like springboard, and throw hurricanranas. Yeah, apparently it was wild. So
this era of wrestling is just a wonderful little experiment. I really hope they take the good and they keep the good, and like these weird matches every once in a while. I don't need them every month, WWE, but I really hope they have these weird cinematic matches after all this is over.
I think they're going to, because they've all been received like really well.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, I don't know if you do it all the time, but I think once every other pay-per-view you're going to see, at least on the WWE side, you're going to see one of these type of things.
Yeah.
And he reminds Terrence there's a Battle for the Grid tournament next Monday. So you got that
there
forward to.
Are y'all gonna be in it? The both of y'all?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
I think it's one of those tournaments that like that you can just do through the PlayStation. I don't think it's something that you have to like go be anywhere or do any kind of thing. I think it's through the PlayStation events app or tab or whatever the fuck they have.
Y'all play each other yet?
He ain't gonna play me. Like you don't want that smoke. You just don't. You don't. Look, I've only had it for a week and a half. I'm pretty good.
Who's your main?
My main right now, Lord Zed.
Yo, that's just so weird to me.
Yo, his damage. His damage output is fucking nonsense.
Lord Zed looks like Shredder with the skin on the outside, on the inside out and shit. Like,
so wait, you're telling me that Lord Zed gets the typical fighting game like boss structure where they're glass cannons basically with no health, but they do like shitloads of damage?
No, he has a bunch of fucking health and he does a shitload of damage. What the fuck?
Oh,
so it's a battle for the grid, bro. Like, yo, almost everybody has a one-touch combo. Almost everybody. If you got the right assist, yeah, you can kill anybody with one fucking hit. But I'm not that advanced yet. But yeah, I use about 7 or 8 characters in that game. The combo structure is really, it's complex, but like once you figure it out, like the combos are, you can do whatever the fuck you want, as long as you keep the combos within the structure and they don't bounce out of them. You can do a ton of damage in that fucking. It's broken. Like I said before, it just is. It's like an old school, just broken ass Marvel vs. Capcom 2 fighter. Don't get touched. That's all I gotta say.
Johnny once again forces us in an audio medium to describe a visual meme that he has posted. Apparently, Johnny's trying to say that he tried playing the Final Fantasy VII remake, but he did not care for it, and he's back to Persona Royal. So you got that going for you.
I mean, I get it.
Amir says, I feel like this question might have been asked before, but I don't remember if it was. So we're going to ask it now. Which video game ending was the biggest letdown or most underwhelming for you? He says Resistance 2.
Prince of Persia, the Nolan North cell shaded Prince of Persia. Because fuck you, yo. Fuck you, yo. Fuck you.
Endings. I don't really remember endings because they're usually all terrible.
They're usually all pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like RPG endings, like with RPGs, right? Like it's the journey. It definitely ain't the destination. So most RPGs, and then like, bullshit cliffhangers like Halo 2. And I remember not liking
Borderlands 2.
Borderlands. The first Borderlands was like, hey, you fight this big vagina monster, and here's the loot. Oh, wait, nope, it's nothing. Like, oh, but there's a bunch more planets, though. All right.
Other vaults to go to. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Right. Is anything gonna be in them? I remember not liking KOTOR, but the second one, I remember not liking KOTOR 2, but I haven't played it in a long time. And no, Mass Effect is not on my list. Fuck you.
I would say Mass Effect 3 it's fair to say it was underwhelming, especially before they patched it.
Okay, before they patch, all right, yeah. I'll give you that. But they tried to fix it. And again, that's an RPG. It's the journey, not the destination.
I seem to remember Infamous 1 having kind of a underwhelming ending. It's like you save the day, and did they tease the beast at the end of that one?
Yeah, no? Because I think they did, because it turns out like you were the
you were the villain. Yeah,
the
like
villain.
Your future self came back in time, and you were the bad guy. So
yeah, but it just didn't make any like sense. I remember it not jiving well.
Two was much better because, of course, you had the hero, tragically dying, or did he? You have that whole thing at the end. Yeah. Endings. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I don't get miffed about endings too much, just because I appreciated the time that I put in ahead of it. So, Gustavo says, "What game did you play that had a surprising twist?" My game was Halo when the Flood appeared for the first time. I've talked about this before on the show. My 14-year-old brain was melted by the twists and turns of Metal Gear Solid when I played it for the first time. Like, I literally had to write down the map of the story to comprehend what was happening, because it blew my mind that such things were happening in video games. Like, I couldn't believe it. That was the first time that storytelling in video games had been communicated to me in that that mature of a degree, I guess you can say.
When you found out that you were Revan, spoiler alert, when you found out that you were Revan in KOTOR, I actually altered my play. I was going down one path, and then I found out I was the ultimate evil, and I was like, you know what? Let's give this evil thing a shot. And then I just went evil. Like, that was fun. It was fun. And my, your party was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then to see the relationship levels flip, it was kind of cool. And that was before spoiler, not before spoilers, but people weren't throwing spoilers in your face. You know what I mean? It was a legit, when Revan took off that mask and it was my character, I'm like, oh shit, son. So
twist, I wouldn't really necessarily call it a twist, but I just recently played Yakuza 0, and there's a reveal in that game that I did not see coming at all. It was pretty dope. The reveal for BioShock, and Metal Gear Solid 2, when they said go fuck yourself and made you play what's his name for the remainder of the game. Like, oh, that's cute.
Well, that and that got even more, because you were confused at first, and then you're like, oh, I guess I'm using this guy for now. And then when Snake shows back up in the story, that's when it sets in. You're like, oh, I'm not going to get to be him anymore.
Yeah,
right. You over there fucking doing naked cartwheels, and the guy you want to play as is like, what are you doing?
And then Metal Gear Solid 2 takes the mindfuck and takes it to a way too far degree. They went too far in Metal Gear Solid 2 in trying to fuck your head up. So
yeah.
John says, you previously mentioned how similar Vince McMahon and Admiral Agent Orange are. That's not a bad name for him. That was made even more apparent in the Owen Hart's Dark Side of the Ring, where Vince got pissy with a female reporter for simply asking a question.
Yo, you have to watch that episode, dude.
Well, here's there's a lot of folks out there I see that that have not ever seen the Vince McMahon Bob Costas.
Yo,
that's another one. Yeah,
20 years
to fight that nigga. Yeah.
Like he got so mad, and all the questions that Bob Costas was asking him, especially in that point in time, back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
he should have seen coming.
Was that the Attitude Era, or was that? I thought that was before the Attitude Era.
No, it was right, because I believe that the interview happened. I think there's some conjunction with WWE, and it was about half about that, half about the XFL. And Vince McMahon was really not trying to talk about WWE stuff. And Bob Costas was like, I got you in the chair, dude. Like this is going to happen. And like he got visibly upset with Bob Costas, to the point where Bob Costas is like, I think he's like weirdly proud of it, but at the same time,
you
like,
can see in his
Yeah,
face.
he was like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, he was getting turgid, bro. He was like, I'm about to make some headlines. Oh God, hit me, I dare you.
It was 2002. Okay,
yeah. So yeah. So like I said, if you thought that was something, go back on YouTube and go seek up the Vince McMahon, Bob Costas interview from almost 20 years ago now to this point, because that's and that was when Vince McMahon was still a relatively young man. He was only his early 50s.
Right. Still all roided out.
Right. It's still in the juice, I'm sure. So yeah.
Yeah, but he essentially, in this interview, which I had never seen before, it was just like a clip of this interview. He essentially was like how Trump says that's a nasty question. Mm-hmm. He was like, I don't. What did he say? I don't appreciate your candor or some shit like that. I'm like, she just asked a simple question, nigga. She's like, I wasn't trying to be any type of way.
Right, but that's the typical like fucking, asshole deflection point. That's how the assholes deflect questions, is they attack you for asking the question.
That's how people who have never heard the word no before react.
Right.
Like, what the fuck you?
And yeah, he mentions that it was a really sad fucking week in pro wrestling. Hanako, who's a 22-year-old Japanese wrestler, passed away, and Shad Gaspard died.
She committed suicide.
Oh, she committed suicide. I'm sorry, I didn't read the details. I just
and Shad drowned saving his fucking son.
Which is
Jesus Christ, man.
Like, my wife even caught wind of that, right? Because it was all over the news, and she was like, "Who is this wrestler?" And I'm like, "Yo, you need to sit down because you about to cry." And I told her what happened, and she was just, oh, like, why'd you tell me that? I'm like, well, why'd you ask?
So, but yeah, it was a shitty week all around for pro wrestling this weekend. Except for, like I said, except for what you'll see. Yeah, if you scroll down, Terrence, if you're in the Facebook comments.
What the fuck is going
on? Wesley says,
wow.
Wesley's new, I think. I don't remember seeing Wesley in here before.
Welcome, Wesley.
What instances of video game logic or premises make you scratch your head or find annoying? For him, he references Streets of Rage. 3 cops decide to take down a criminal organization by engaging in fisticuffs, but their backup can roll in and fire off bazookas. I have the all-timer. On this one for me. Metal Gear Solid 3. The story of that game takes place relatively across 18 hours, give or take. And in that game, like, a colossal amount of bullshit can happen to Solid Snake in terms of, like, injuries. Because there's, like, the stamina system in the game that if, like, you get hurt, you have to use supplies to mend yourself. Like, Snake can break his fucking arm, and Snake's just like, let me wrap some gauze on that, good to go. Like we're rolling back out, and we're fucking doing it, guys. Like, we're making this shit happen. Like for me, like, it's like, oh, Snake fucking sprained his ankle. Just got to wrap an ace bandage on that, Chief. Let's get back out there. We got some fucking stealthing to do, my guys, because it only affected your stamina. Like, it's not like you, like, like it impaired you as you collected throughout the game.
You should have been hobbled, like in the fucking in that Stephen King movie, where that woman is like,
not Deliverance.
I'm a big fan of your work as
Misery.
an author, and I'm gonna make sure you finish it by hobbling your ass. Mine has to be what every first-person shooter does nowadays, and you get shot in the head. You act like Captain America, and you walk it off. Sit down for a few minutes, let the blood drip from your eyes so you can see again, and then you're good to go.
Well, if you get like melee, you die instantly.
Right. You shot
30 times with a bullet. You're like, this shit hurts. You catch a knife to the gut. Yeah, you're dead.
And you turn into a wrestling referee. You hit the back of the head, and all of a sudden you're out for an indeterminate amount of time that is convenient upon storytelling purposes. Like, whoa, what are you doing? So yeah, that would be mine. Just first-person shooter, health regeneration,
invisible walls. I can't stand them. They piss me off. Just why? I mean, I understand limitations and all that, but like in just the most inopportune places. It's like, yo, I look like I can walk that way. Oh no, you can't.
My favorite instance of having to deal with an invisible wall has to deal with Grand Theft Auto, specifically like 5 and stuff like that, where you could fly. So when you took a plane and you wanted to fly away from San Andreas, your plane just fucking malfunctions, and it's like, you know what?
Oh yeah.
Like in Spider-Man,
to unlock it.
Right, like in Spider-Man, if you're trying to swing across, to get to one of the other islands, they're like, no, the game pauses and says, nope, can't go that way, and then it makes you turn around. Like, nah, just have them blow the fuck up.
Trey says, can we consider the NES, SNES online Switch stuff a colossal failure? So for those that don't know what Trey's talking about, as part of your Nintendo online membership that you pay $20 a year for, you get these apps for free that have NES and SNES games that you can play on demand. Now, when they first came out, it was fine because they put a lot of the shit that you would expect to see on such a service on there on day one. And there was a lot of stuff to play. And then they were updating the stores like once a month, basically. No, it's not even fair to call them stores. They were updating the services once a month with new stuff. But it was a lot of bullshit. Like there was a lot of really shitty games that they added to the service. And now not only are they adding shitty games, but they're like, we'll update it when we feel like it. Essentially, is what they're going with. I don't consider it a failure because it's. I mean, I know they advertise it as part of the service, but to me, it's more like a bonus of the service. Like you pay $20 a year for the online access and all the bells and whistles that come with that, and then I feel like the SNES NES thing is just a free bonus to play these games that you've probably bought 5 times anyway across all the different Nintendo platforms that have sold them to you over and over again. So it doesn't really bother me all that much.
Yeah, I honestly haven't really used it.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few games that I want to just go back and play from that era, from like the old school era. Like the one that I really want to play is like old Final Fantasies, but I want to play 6.
Right, and the game that I'd want the most on that service is Chrono Trigger, but they're not going to give me Chrono Trigger for free. Like they'll charge me $20 to buy it from the eShop.
Yeah,
which I will pay. I'm fine with that. So, I guess temper your expectations for the Switch online service. Now, what is disappointing is one of the things they hyped it up with is like, oh, we're going to add online play to these like old SNES and NES games, and that really hasn't manifested in any tangible way. But again, the reason why it probably hasn't manifested tangibly is because people probably weren't using the fucking service to begin with.
Yeah.
They're probably not dumping a lot of investment into it, so I get that. And then finally, we'll end with Eric, who says, what gimmick or mechanic from a game really stuck out to you and you enjoyed?
I don't like. There are some shooters where if you shoot like everyone's aiming for like headshots, right? But if you shoot, there's some games if you shoot the leg, they'll incapacitate people. Like the Outer Worlds did that. Like if you shot someone in the leg, they would stop charging at you. If you shot them in the arm, they won't shoot you for a minute, which I think is cool. It's kind of like the VAT system, but like I would prefer it like more skill based than like, okay, now my VATs are up and now I can specifically target limbs, but it's difficult to target limbs. So, but I like that idea. I like anything that has like big bosses, like that you can like anything that has when you fight a boss, it's not just like a glowing thing. You know what I mean? like a big glowing thing that you just have to shoot at. Like Shadow of the Colossus was really cool.
Yeah, you had to climb the boss to find the big glowing thing.
Yeah,
Right.
They disguised the big glowing thing.
Right. But at least it's something, you know what I mean?
The active reload system from Gears of War has, I mean, they've put that in a whole bunch of other games, but like in Gears of War, like at first a little mini game to give yourself a little bit more power, which you kind of needed once you played the harder levels. I mean, once you played like the harder difficulty levels, because you needed that extra damage because that game was fucking hard as shit on the hard modes. But yeah, the active reload system has always been pretty cool to me.
I liked it too because it added some tense moments in the firefight if you choked on the reload.
Yeah,
like,
if you fucked that active reload up and you just like you fucking gun jam.
So I get that there. For me, like the recent one I can think of, I really enjoyed what they did with the progression system in Mass Effect Andromeda specifically, where they kind of took the progression system from the other Mass Effect games and just kind of said, well, here's your cake and go ahead and shove your fucking face in it. Like the ability, it kind of eliminated the need to have like a respec system because you could just invest your skill points in a variety of different trees and you could switch between your different skill loadouts on the fly based on your situation and based on who the squad mates were that you brought with you in each mission. And that was pretty cool because it still rewarded you if you went heavily into like one or two trees, you know, with the bulk of stuff, but it still lets you dabble in all of them. So you could, even if you were running like, you know, mainly a soldier tech build, that you could still throw a Vanguard power in here or there.
Did you do loadouts?
Yeah, like you literally can make power loadouts in the game because in Mass Effect Andromeda, that's right, you never played it, Terrence.
No.
You don't pick your class at the beginning of the game like you do with the Mass Effect games. Instead, when you level up, you have access to all three of the different class-based skill trees. Mm-hmm. And when you the more points that you invest into one tree, that starts unlocking like the class-based bonuses that you would normally get at the beginning of the game from choosing a class. But it doesn't and then you have 4 loadouts that you can create of powers that you can switch between on the fly. So like if you're fighting a boss or something that doesn't have, you know, vulnerabilities to the current loadout that you have, you can actually switch. There's like a cooldown. Like when you switch powers, they immediately all go on cooldown. So it's not like you can switch and just start using them right away. But I thought that was really cool because it didn't lock you in, especially at the beginning of the game. When the first time you play, you don't know what the fuck you want to do. Like you don't know where you want to invest in. So you just pick the thing that looks the coolest. Which I guess encourages repeat plays. But I like the fact they kind of give you a little more flexibility in Andromeda than they did in the other Mass Effect games, as far as that goes.
I might replay that game.
I do too. I don't know if I have the time because I'm playing other stuff right now, but I have wanted to sit back down and play it. Really, I'm holding out for if they ever do the main trilogy.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Everything else will be fucking remastered.
I know. Well, yeah. Well, you know, I'll it'll be great on PS4, but I'll wait till I get the Mass Effect trilogy on the Switch. That's what I really want to see. If I can play it on the go. Oh shit. So that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for your questions. Make sure you join our fan group, denspixels.com/fans. That you too can submit us questions every week. Make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to YouTube, like Micah said. See Terrence's new gimmick of the rotating background every single week at youtube.com/denspixels. Follow Terrence on Twitch as well. See if he plays in that tournament next week. His handle is Apparition410. And Carrie, it's up. It's Carrie. She had a Golden Sunday earlier this weekend. So you can watch her stream. Mostly Golden Sunday, whenever she decides to get on. So thank you guys very much for listening and watching, and we'll see you all the next time.
See you. Take it easy.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.